Hello. Today I am going to share with you a little ghost story that happened to my family. So it's not going to be a big story, or there is not going to be like many ghosts or something which is really obvious, but a little ghost story which is a little bit hard to explain. But yeah. Maybe 10 years ago, I was living with my parents and my sisters in a house, and the house was a little bit scary. But anyone can say that their house is a little bit scary, so nothing like really special. There was like no some crazy sounds or some like seeing shadows or something like that, but kind of negative energy was in the house. Right now in the house is living my older sister with her husband and her children. And one day, it was maybe 5, 6 years ago, my sister decided that she is going to call someone. She is going to call someone who is working with the ghosts, or someone who is like cleaning the negative energies and so on. So my sister, the older one, she is not like crazy about these things. She is not spiritual or something like that. But I think that she is open-minded to these possibilities. So she also could feel the energy of the house. So she decided that she is going to try to do something. So I wasn't there, so I have this like second hand story, but it is still a real story, so yeah. So they called some guy who was like going to clean the house from the negative energy or something like that. And when he was inside the house, he found a place on the stairs. It was like wooden stairs. And he found a little place on the corner of the stairs, and he said that there is something, some kind of entity or some kind of energy in the little piece of wood which is like in the corner of the stairs. So yeah. So they removed this little piece of wood, and funny enough, the piece of wood had a little hole inside. I wasn't there, so I didn't see the hole. As I said, I have this second hand, but it was kind of interesting that the wood had some kind of hole which shouldn't be there. The guy told to my sister that they need to burn this piece of wood to release the negative energy and so on. So yeah. So my older sister with my mother, they decided that they are going to give this little piece of wood to my grandfather, because he has like a garden and he is able to make a fire in the garden, and he is able to burn the wood in there. So yeah, they gave it to my grandfather, but my grandfather, he doesn't believe this bullshit, like in his opinion. And he decided that he is not going to burn this little piece of wood, because he is like a practical guy, and it's going to be missing on the stairs, and there is no way that he is going to burn this because of some bullshit or something. So yeah. My sister and my mother, they were thinking that he did it, but he didn't. Few months later, my father was supposed to go to some kind of surgery, something with the stomach, but that's not important. And yeah. My grandfather, he is like living with my grandmother, and my grandmother, she didn't know about the little piece of wood or something like that. She is hardcore Christian, so she wouldn't believe that anyway. But yeah, she at least based on my knowledge and based on what she said, she had no idea about the little piece of wood that my grandfather didn't burn in the garden and so on. So it was maybe 3 days before the surgery of my father, and my grandmother, she had a dream. She had a dream with her mother, so it would be my grandmother, and many times when she has some kind of issue or something, she has a dream with her mother, who in a dream somehow guide her or help her to solve some situation or something like that. So when she has a dream with her mother, she take it a little bit more seriously, I would say. And she had a dream, and in the dream, her mother told her that they need to burn the thing which is on the garden. So yeah, this was the dream, and yeah. So on the next day, she was kind of afraid to tell my grandfather because she didn't want to bother him with something like this. But she decided that she is going to tell him, and yeah. So he said that he has no idea what she is talking about. But 5 minutes later, when she asked him like, "Where are you going?" he said that he needs to go to the garden. So after the dream, maybe he got scared or I don't know, but he decided that he is going to burn this piece of wood because, the dream changed his mind. So he did. And on the next day, during the night, my grandmother one more time had a dream. Right now, not with her mother, but she had a dream and she saw my father, and she saw him like beautiful and shining and so on. And yeah, and my father had a surgery in like 2 days, and everything went okay. And yeah, and a last little piece of the story that happened, which is kind of interesting, is that before of my family living in the house, there was other family. They were like kind of family members. It was like sister of my father with her husband. They were living in the house. But what I want to say is someone who was living in the house before us had a car accident maybe 1 or 2 days after my grandfather burned the wood. He ran through some wild animal, like nothing bad happened to him, maybe little injury with the hand. But it was really, really interesting that someone who was living in the house before of us had a car accident after few days or maybe 2-3 days, I don't know exactly, after my grandfather burned this wood. So yeah, basically this is a all story. There is like no plot twist or something like that. This is the real story. So if this was a fictional story, I could have like created a better story. But this is like something which is from real life. So there are no like plot twist or funny things or something like that. But I think it's really interesting that that it happened like so, that my grandmother had a dream about burning something on the garden and she had no idea. Then my grandfather burned this, and on the next day she had a dream that my father was like shining and beautiful, and the surgery went okay, and that someone who was living in the house had a car accident a few days after we burned this wood. So yeah, this is just a little ghost story that happened to my family. I am not claiming or I am not saying that this is something which like is a real ghost or something. It may be just a coincidence, but I have a video about my 5 dreams that came true, and I am almost sure that in dreams you can see more than your subconscious, that you can see future or something. So I kind of believe that this is something which is real and not the coincidence, but I am still open-minded to that maybe it's just a coincidence. But I would say it's not. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you think that this is something which is like real, or you think that it's just a coincidence, or yeah, or you can write me some kind of similar story if you have. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little ghost story with you. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day and goodbye.